I handed over the check for 50 grand like it was nothing, my fingers steady on the crisp paper, even as the banker in me screamed it was everything I'd clawed back from the abyss. That's when Emily, my only daughter, the one I'd bled for in ways she'd never know, leaned into the mic at her rehearsal dinner and said, "Mom's money might pay for the flowers, but it can't buy back the years she stole from us." The room went dead silent, forks hovering midair. But I just raised my glass, because forgiveness? That's for suckers. Revenge is the real family heirloom. You ever wonder what it feels like to stare down the barrel of your own life and realize you've been reloading it for someone else? That's me. Victoria Hale, 47 years old, standing in the marble-floored lobby of the Plaza in New York City. December 2025. With a forged smile and a heart that's been autopsy-ready since 2015. The air smells like fresh orchids and old money. The kind that whispers, "You're welcome," while picking your pocket. I'm here for Emily's wedding, my Emily. The girl I raised on bedtime stories about fierce women who bend but never break. Except I broke. Quietly. Completely. For her. It started back in Austin, Texas, when the world was still Obama-era optimistic and I was a rising star at a boutique law firm specializing in corporate mergers. 32. Married to Richard, a slick real estate developer with a jawline that could cut glass and a conscience softer than hotel bathrobes. We had the dream, split-level ranch house in the hills. Weekend barbecues with craft IPAs and Willie Nelson on the speakers. And Emily, our wild-hearted 13-year-old with my dark curls and his blue eyes. She was the glue. The reason I traded late nights drafting NDAs for PDA bake sales and soccer sidelines. "You're my hero,"
Mom, she'd say,
hugging me after a goal, her grass-stained knees smudging my pencil skirt. God, I lived for that. But heroes don't see the cracks until the foundation crumbles. Richard's firm was hemorrhaging cash, bad investments in fracking leases that tanked when oil prices dipped. He came to me one night in our kitchen, the one with the copper pots I'd impulse bought in Santa Fe. His tie loosened like a noose.
"Vic,
I need you to help me cook the books." Just a little shuffle. Offshore accounts. Nothing traceable. His eyes pleaded. The same ones that wooed me at a UT alumni mixer 15 years prior. I laughed it off at first. Victoria Hale, ethics committee darling, playing accountant for her husband's Ponzi light? But then he dropped the bomb. If this goes south, Emily pays. CPS. Headlines. The works. She's got that shoplifting charge from last summer hanging over her head. One word for me, and it escalates. Shoplifting. Emily's little rebellion, a lipstick from Sephora. A dare from her boyfriend, Tyler, that punk with a faux hawk and felony daddy issues. I'd hushed it up with community service and a stern talk, but Richard weaponized it. He knew I'd do anything for her.
So I did.
I rerouted funds through dummy clients at my firm, backdated invoices, made it look like I'd skimmed during a merger deal. Clean. Professional embezzlement, 200 grand, enough to float his sinking ship without capsizing mine. Or so I thought. The feds came 6 months later, badges flashing in our breakfast nook like it was a crime scene. Emily was at school, Richard conveniently in a meeting in Dallas. I confessed everything, scripted it with my own lawyer to shield him. It was me. Solo act. Marital stress. Bad judgment. They bought it because I'm Victoria Hale, polished, persuasive, the woman who could sell ice to Eskimos in July. 5 years federal, minimum security in Huntsville, Texas. White-collar spa, they called it. But let me tell you, nothing massages the soul like barbed wire and regret. Richard filed for divorce from a lawyer's office in Houston, citing irreconcilable differences and moral turpitude. He got full custody,
The house.
the 401k. Emily? She visited twice the first year, her face pressed to the plexiglass, whispering, "Why'd you do it? Mom? Dad says you're selfish." Selfish. The word lodged in my throat like a dry communion wafer. By year 3, visits stopped. Letters dwindled to holiday cards with Richard's scrawl, "Emily's thriving." Focus on rehab. I did. Rehabbed my way through paralegal courses via prison library. Networked with fellow inmates, women who'd clawed from worse.
Parole in 2020.
COVID be damned. And I hit the ground running in Chicago, subletting a shoebox in Wicker Park, consulting for startups on compliance audits. Legit work, grinding 12-hour days. Because every dollar was a brick in the wall I'd build between me and the past. Emily turned 21 that year, a sorority girl at UT Austin, posting thirst traps from 6th Street bars. I stalked her Insta like a ghost, likes on Richard's yacht pics. Captions about, "Daddy's girl forever." He remarried quick. Some Pilates instructor named Kendra with veneers like piano keys and a podcast on manifesting abundance. They moved to a McMansion in Westlake Hills, the kind with a pool shaped like Texas. Emily thrived. All right, Dean's List. Internships at Daddy's firm. I sent gifts, a leather-bound planner for freshman year, pearl studs for her birthday. No replies. But I kept stacking cash. Because redemption isn't free. Fast forward to last spring. An email from Emily. Subject: wedding. She's engaged to Marcus, a venture capitalist from Silicon Valley with a man bun and a net worth that could buy small nations. Mom, it's crazy fast, but we're doing it in NYC. Dad and Kendra are covering the venue.
But
Things are tight with the VC crunch. If you could chip in for half the flowers and band, it'd mean the world. Half. $50K. I stared at my laptop in my Lincoln Park efficiency, the one with the leaky faucet and view of a brick wall, and laughed. The world? I'd given her mine. But blood's thicker than ink. So I wired it. Anything for you, kiddo, I typed back. Can't wait to hug you. Now here I am. Heels clicking on Persian rugs. The plaza's doormen nodding like they know my secrets. The rehearsal dinners in the grand ballroom, chandeliers dripping like frozen waterfalls. Tables groaning under seared scallops and heirloom tomatoes. Richard's there. Silver at the temples. Clapping Marcus on the back like they're closing a deal. Kendra air kisses cheeks. Her Lululemon wrap dress screaming, "I'm fun, aunt, not stepmom." Emily's a vision in emerald silk. Emerald like the ring on her finger. Laughing at some tech bros joke. She spots me. Waves, hesitant, but real.
Mom,
You made it. We hug. Her Chanel no. 5 mixing with my drugstore lavender. Wouldn't miss it, I murmur, slipping the envelope with the final payment stub into her clutch. For the band. Make it unforgettable. Her eyes flicker gratitude, guilt, hard to tell under the makeup. Dinner drags, toasts about new beginnings and family first, Richard's voice booming over the clink of Riedel stems. I sip my Pinot Noir, nodding along, the outsider in my own story. Marcus toasts me next, to Victoria, the original boss babe. Emily says you taught her everything about grit. The table chuckles. I smile, but inside, The old fury simmers.
Grit.
Yeah, that's what they call it when you swallow your spine. Emily's turn comes after dessert. Petite fours dusted with gold leaf. She taps the mic. The feedback a sharp whine that hushes the room. I know this is supposed to be about Marcus and me, she starts. Voice steady. Sorority polished. But I can't let tonight pass without saying something real. Pauses for effect. Scanning faces. Richard's proud nod. Kendra's misty eyes. Then her gaze locks on mine. Mom paid half this wedding tonight. That's huge. But let's be honest, her money's got strings. Strings from the lies that tore us apart. Gasps ripple. Forks drop. Richard shifts. Uncomfortable. Emily. Honey, he starts. But she barrels on. You went to prison for Dad's mistakes.
Mom.
But you less believe it was yours. You let me hate you for years, thinking you were the villain. And now, showing up like the prodigal mom. Check in hand, it's too late. That money can't wash the blood off your hands, or ours. Blood? My pulse thuds. Vision narrowing to her face. Twisted not with anger, but something sharper, calculation. The room erupts in murmurs. Eyes darting between us like we're a live episode of Real Housewives. Marcus pulls her down, whispering, but she shrugs him off, storming out in a swish of silk. I sit there, glass in hand, as Richard mutters apologies and Kendra herds guests toward the exits. Heartbroken, try eviscerated. But as the doors swing shut behind the chaos, a cold clarity settles. Those strings she mentioned, they're mine now. And I'm about to pull them tight. The elevator ride to my room feels like a confessional booth. The mirrored walls reflecting a woman I barely recognize, Victoria Hale.
Ex-con.
Ex-wife. Eternal fixer. My phone buzzes nonstop. Text from Emily, we need to talk. Sorry. Richard, this is mortifying. Call me. I silence it, pour a minibar bourbon neat, and pace the suite's Persian rug like a caged panther. Bourbon burns going down, but it loosens the knots. Emily's words echo, lies that tore us apart.
Lies.
Plural. She knows.
How long?
And why now? On the eve of her white dress fairy tale, I sink onto the king bed, threadbare jeans clashing with the fret linens, and pull out the burner phone, the one I keep for contingencies, a habit from Huntsville days when trust was currency rarer than commissary smokes. Dial the number etched in my memory, Carla Ruiz.
My old cellmate.
Now a PI in El Paso with a nose for dirt sharper than a shiv. Vic, it's midnight. This better be good. Her voice, gravelly from years of camels and catfights, grounds me. Emily's wedding imploded. She outed the cover-up in front of 80 people. I recap the mic drop, the gasps, the exodus. Carla whistles low. Ballsy. Or stupid. What's your play?
Play.
As if life's a poker hand and not a rigged slot machine. I need eyes on Marcus. And Richard. Dig up what Emily's dangling over them. Carla chuckles.
On it.
But Vic? Some webs you don't wanna untangle. Cost me my last relationship. She hangs up, leaving me with the hum of the city beyond the windows, horns blaring on Fifth Avenue. A symphony of indifference. Sleep doesn't come, so I scroll Emily's socials. A digital autopsy of the daughter I lost. Wedding boards pinned with peonies and string lights. Marcus's arm slung possessive around her waist in Napa Valley selfies. His LinkedIn screams Harvard MBA, Sequoia Capital Scout, but whispers of aggressive exits from prior firms. Richard's feed, golf outings with Texas senators. Kendra hawking her abundance alchemy retreats. Family portrait last Christmas. Emily sandwiched between them. My ghost absent. I close the app. Throat tight. Betrayals a slow poison, but tonight it hit like fentanyl. Morning breaks gray. Rain sheeting the spires of St. Patrick's like tears on a widow's veil. The ceremonies at noon St. Bart's. Because Marcus's family are old money wasps who think Episcopal bells chase away bad karma. I dress in my navy sheath. Pearls from my grandmother hail. The ones that survived the divorce because Richard deemed them sentimental trash. Makeup minimal. War paint for the battlefield. The lobby's a crush of taffeta and top hats. Guests pretending last night was a bad dream. Kendra corners me by the coat check. Her yoga-toned, arms folding like a barrier. Victoria. Darling. Emily's a mess. Hormones. You know, let's keep it civil for the photos. Civil. I nod. All teeth and no bite. Wouldn't dream otherwise. Richard lurks nearby, checking his Rolex, avoiding eye contact. We shuttle to the church in black SUVs, the fleet smelling of leather and lilies. Inside, the nave's a hush of stained glass and secrets, organs swelling like a guilty conscience. Emily waits in the vestibule, veil trembling, Marcus fidgeting in his morning coat. She sees me, freezes.
Mom.
Last night was, save it. I cut in, voice low. We'll dissect later. Today, you're the bride. Her eyes well, relief? Or more strings? The priest drones vows of eternal fidelity. And I wonder if anyone's ever meant them. Post-ceremony brunch at the Polo Bar is a minefield of small talk and mimosas. I nurse mine at a corner banquette, watching Marcus work the room, handshakes with venture bros, whispers with Richard about synergies. Emily floats between tables, gown hitched like a prom dress, but her laugh rings hollow. Halfway through the avocado toast, my burner vibrates. Carla's text. A dossier link. I slip to the powder room, lock the stall, and scroll. Marcus, not just aggressive, accused of insider trading at his last gig. Settled out of court for 7 figures. Richard, co-signed the loans that started his downfall. But there's an addendum. Emily's name on a shell corp. Funneled through her college internship. My girl. Playing 3-card Monty with daddy's books. Nausea hits. Bourbon roiling. Emily didn't just know about the cover-up, she was in it. Her teen shoplift? A trial run. Richard's mistakes from a decade ago? Echoes of the same scam. With Emily as the new apprentice. They'd framed me not once, but as the sacrificial lamb to keep their empire gleaming.
And now,
with wedding bells tolling, she drops the bomb to what? Flush me out? Or tie off loose ends? I splash water on my face. Mirror showing a woman forged in fire, scars invisible, but steel beneath. Time to flip the script. The reception kicks off at 4. Terrace room transformed into a winter wonderland. Icicle lights. Fur throws on banquettes. A jazz quartet crooning Cole Porter. Toasts flow like the Veuve Cliquot. Marcus on soulmates, Kendra on blended families, Richard droning about legacy. My turn comes after the cake cutting. Emily's knife slicing tiers of lemon bergamot sponge with surgical precision. I rise, glass in hand, the room's eyes on me like spotlights on a perp walk. To Emily and Marcus, I start, voice steady as a deposition. You've built something beautiful here. But beauty's fragile without truth. Murmurs stir. Richard coughs. I press on. 15 years ago, I took a fall for love. For family. Wired funds that weren't mine. Confessed to crimes that echoed louder than my silence.
But tonight?
Let's honor the real architects. Emily pales under her veil. Marcus's hand tightening on hers. I pull the burner from my clutch, cheat sheet. Not prop and read Carla's gems. Marcus, your Sequoia exit? Not voluntary. SEC whispers say you tipped off shorts on that EV startup. Pocketed $2 million before the crash. Gasps Cascade. His face drains. Victoria. That's libel. Wait. I cut him. Turning to Richard. And you? Dick, Westlake Hills isn't built on real estate. It's on rerouted client escrow. Laundered through your daughter's summer gigs. Emily's signature on the docs. Bold as brass. The quartet falters. A sax note dying. Kendra gasps theatrically. Emily stands, voice cracking. Stop. You're ruining everything. Ruining? Honey, I'm just getting started. But as security hovers and flashes pop from errant phones, a flicker hits me. Emily's eyes aren't just furious, they're terrified. For me, or of me, the revenge tastes like ash. Polarizing the crowd, half glaring at the bitter ex, half nodding at the whistleblower mom.
You see.
Glass refilled. As the party fractures. Allies form. Aunts pulling Emily aside. Uncles cornering Richard. Marcus storms out. Phone to ear. Damage control mode. And Emily? She approaches slow. Like I'm a live wire. How did you? Mothers know, I lie. Or they learn. Night deepens. Rain lashing Central Park South. The party's a husk, guests trickling to cabs. Whispers of scandal and lawsuits. Richard corners me by the bar. Bourbon breath hot. You bitch. This is extortion.
No. Dick.
This is justice. Your justice, served with a side of your daughter's complicity. He lunges verbal. She was protecting me, like you did. Family.
Vic.
That's what we do. Protecting. The word twists. A knife in old wounds. I laugh. Bitter. Family? You sold me out for a pool and a podcast. He deflates. Slinks away. Victory? Feels like trench warfare. Emily finds me on the terrace. City lights blurring through mist. Mom.
Please.
Call it off. Marcus is calling the wedding. Over?
Good.
He's a shark in chinos. She sobs. Mascara rivers. I did it for us. After you went away, Dad spiraled. The firm was dying. I learned the ropes to save it. For you to come back to something.
Lie or truth?
Her eyes plead the latter. But my gut screams scheme.
Sei viver sob história.
You used me twice, once to hate, once to fund. She grabs my arm. Desperate. Twice?
Mom.
There's more. Dad. He wasn't the start. Grandma Hale, your mom, she set the template. Embezzled from the family trust in '98. You covered for her, too. Didn't you? That's why you knew how.
Grandma?
The woman who baked pecan pies and quoted Ephesians? My world tilts.
What?
Emily nods. Frantic. Papers in Dad's safe. You were 25. Fresh out of law school. Redirected funds for for her nursing home. That's the original sin.
Shock roots me.
All these years, I thought I broke the mold. Turns out, I was cast in it. The terrace air bites. December chill seeping through my sheath like Judgment Day fingers. Emily's revelation hangs between us. A guillotine blade mid-swing. Grandma Hale, Eleanor. With her pearl clutch and Sunday school lessons, the embezzler? I flash to 98. Me. Green as St. Patrick's. Clerking at a Dallas firm. Mom's call about creative accounting for Dad's Alzheimer's care. Just shuffle the trust.
Vicky.
God helps those who help themselves. I did. Buried it deep. Vowed never again. Irony's a cruel bitch. I repeated the cycle. First for her. Then Richard. Now Emily's collateral. Why tell me now? I rasp. Rain beating on my lashes. Emily wipes her face. Smearing foundation like war paint. Because you're doing it again. Exposing us fixes nothing. It just chains Marcus to the wreck. He's clean.
Mom.
I dirted him to keep Dad afloat.
Clean?
Her eyes dart. Guilty gleam. Or is it? The web tightens. Threads pulling from every lie. And the mic drop last night? To what? Scare me off. Or bait me into this. She hesitates. Too long.
I
needed you to fight. To prove you still cared enough to burn it down.
cared.
The word detonates something primal. I pull her into a hug. Her sobs soaking my shoulder. The city a indifferent roar below. For a beat. It's 2010 again. Pigtailed Emily with scraped knees. Me bandaging with neosporin and nonsense rhymes. But revenge doesn't pause for nostalgia. We'll fix it, I murmur.
Together. Lie?
Truth?
Even I don't know. She nods.
Clinging. As thunder cracks overhead. Back inside. The terrace room's a battlefield. Marcus pacing by the bar. Lawyering with a Bluetooth earpiece. Richard schmoozing stragglers. Kendra hissing into her phone about PR nightmares. Guests cluster in factions. Team bride whispering sympathies. Team groom shooting me side-eye, like I'm the Wicked Witch of the Upper East Side. I weave through. Burner buzzing. Carla's follow-up. Grandma Engel checks out. Trust docs tampered. Your sig all over. But here's the kicker. Richard knew. Dug Em up post-divorce. Used Em to leverage Emily into the family biz. She's been his pawn since college.
Pawn.
My daughter. Groomed like a trust fund thoroughbred. Fury surges. Hot and holy. No more half measures. I grabbed the mic from the MC's stand, unplugged, but volume cranked for announcements. Ladies and gentlemen, I boom. Feedback a banshee wail. Head snap. If you're still here, bless you. This family's a house of cards. And I'm the wind. But let's lay 'em out. Emily freezes mid-sip. Marcus lunges. Vic. Don't, but I barrel on. Channeling every courtroom closing I never got. Richard Hale didn't build empires, he borrowed them. From his wife's mother in '98. From me in 2015. From his daughter these last 5 years. Emily? Not the villain. The victim. She wired the funds to save his sinking ship, thinking it'd bring me home a hero. Marcus? Caught in the crossfire. But let's not pretend his VC halo's spotless. Proof flashes on my phone. Projected via the AV rig, screenshots of emails, ledgers, SEC filings. Gasps turn to outrage, a silver-haired uncle muttering, jailbird justice, A sorority sister live tweeting, "Hail wedding gone wild." Richard charges the stage.
Face-puce.
Turn it off. This is slander. Slander? I laugh. My caught in my grip. Truth's the ultimate defamation. Security muscle in. But the crowd's electric, half cheering the takedown, half booing the homewrecker mom. Polarizing, just like I planned. Emily climbs up, tear-streaked, grabbing my arm. Stop.
Mom.
You're destroying me. Destroying? Or freeing? Marcus yanks her back, hissing. This is why I said no felons at the altar. The slap lands, his words. My hand?
No.
Emily's. She wheels on him, palm cracking his cheek. You knew. The insider tip? Dad's idea. Your execution. For synergies. Chaos erupts. Richard bellows. Kendra faints dramatically into a waiter's arms. Guests filming like it's Coachella gone corporate. Fists fly, metaphorical. Mostly uncles restraining Richard. Bridesmaids circling Emily like lionesses. I stand amid it. Mike limp. The high of exposure crashing into hollow. Revenge delivered. But the feast is bitter. Emily's glare pins me. Not grateful, but gutted. You promised, she mouths. Promised what? Absolution?
Elite.
Again.
Qu'arrive, Nit.
Tipped by some pearl clutcher, cuffing Richard for disorderly, Marcus for assault after he shoves a gawker. Emily's hauled to an ambulance. Hyperventilating. Kendra trailing with smelling salts.
Me?
They question. But Carla's leaks are scrubbed clean, no felonies. Just concerned citizen. I ride with Emily to Lenox Hill. Her hand limp in mine under the sirens.
Why?
Mom, she whispers. For dripping. To end the cycle, I say.
Truth.
Half-baked. Dawn breaks as they discharge her. Rain-slick streets steaming. Richard's bailed by noon. Lawyered to the hilt. Threatening countersuits. Marcus ghosts. Flight to Palo Alto. Wedding ring mailed FedEx. The headlines hit by lunch. Tech tycoon's nuptials implode in multi-gen fraud bombshell. Polarizing gold. Fox calls me vengeful harpy, scient whistleblower warrior. Emily crashes at my suite. Silent on the couch. Picking at room service eggs. What now? She asks. Voice small.
Now?
Real this time. I mean it, therapy. Truths. Maybe a podunk firm in the Midwest. But as she sleeps, I slip to the balcony. Burner in hand. Carla's final text. One more thread.
Beak.
Grandma's trust? Not just tampered. She left you everything, unclaimed, in a Cayman vault. Key's been with Richard since 15. Your cut? 8 figures. Enough to bury 'em all. Twist hits like vertigo. The original sin wasn't theft, it was legacy. Eleanor didn't just teach me to shuffle, she bankrolled me out. Richard found it, hoarded it, used it to puppeteer us. Emily's complicity, bait to draw me back. Claim the pot. My revenge? It freed her, but chained me to the fortune of ghosts. Do I expose it? Torch the last bridge? Or claim it? Start clean, by Emily a fresh start. Vanish Richard in civil suits? I pocket the phone. City awakening below. Happy ending? If walking away counts me and Emily. Road tripping Route 66 in a Mustang convertible. Wind whipping lies away. Tragic? If I wire the vault funds to a charity for white-collar widows. Leaving us broke but unbroken. Debatable. Either way. Blood's thicker. Sure, but revenge? It's the ink that writes the will. As Emily stirs, calling Mom, I turn, smile real for once. Right here.
Kid.
Let's go home.